Hello everybody, welcome back. So we're going to have a look at one of our old favourites from back in the olden days, yeah? Matic. We used to trade Matic 2019, 20. We used to love this thing, right? It would always run counter to the market. One of a few of these Binance IEOs. There was Matic, Seller, Harmony One, BitTorrent Token, Fetch AI. They all kind of launched roughly at the same time, and most of them had significant runs on several occasions, which often ran counter to the market. So Bitcoin could be up, down, or sideways, and these things would have their own little moves. Whether you believe they're organic or not is a different story, but they did do it, and we would play those, and especially with Matic more than any, we would be loving it. Now since then, it's taken on a new form, which is of a super coin, super chat. Everybody wants it, but back in the old days, it was a shit coin, and we used to trade it like a shit coin. And this is one of the things I need to try and hit home to people when I talk about shit coins. It is a term of endearment. We like shit coins in this channel, otherwise I wouldn't talk about them and try and trade them. So when people who watch my videos on Bepro and I call it a shit coin, they come out of the woodwork and go, "You clearly don't know what you're talking about." Look, I mean, Matic was a massive shitcoin. It didn't stop us from trading it and making loads of money out of it, right? So I intend to do that with shitcoins across the board. We don't normally see a 4x on the way up and then a 70% dump on the way down overnight. This is a daily. So in a 24-hour period, we dumped 70%. For the record, we got out at the top on here. And but yeah, this was a shitcoin. They used to call the CEO Scam Deep, didn't they? Which, yeah, it's all good fun, all right? Just enjoy these things. You shouldn't marry your tokens, even though we were, I suppose, fixated on Matic for a prolonged period of time. You shouldn't get emotionally attached to these things. If I call something a shitcoin, it's just a joke. It's just a laugh, all right? Things aren't supposed to look like that. That's not how things are supposed to look. But since then, Matic has taken on a life of its own and has now become what would appear to be a strong, respectable chart. It's matured out of that old shitcoin behavior and into something new, which is a very strong, very, very strong looking chart. So since the golden cross back down here, never death crossed again. We had some significant pullbacks, very well respected on the 200 moving average, and again here. And since then, it's basically launched. This is the tether pairing, but we can also look at the Bitcoin pairing. There's a lot of rhythm to that as well. We've got our top here. We've also got our bottom level of support here. Basically a sideways channel of accumulation. We broke this basically a month ago, and since then it's gone on a subtle but effective tear up versus Bitcoin. We take these to the weekly. We can see that both of these now have created a brand new all-time high with their candle bodies, which is more important than a wick. Again, we look at the tether pair and it's just basically all-time high after all-time high when we're talking about, candle bodies. So, where are we going to go from here is the main question. Well, I can tell you first thing that we've got a conversion baseline cross on the weekly with the Ichimoku cloud. Perfect signal. This was over a month ago now, to be honest. So we've got green portion of the cloud, above price action, cross above the cloud, cheeky span above the cloud. We also have the same thing going on over here for Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin pairing was just that, and this would be a long-term continuation. Now, because it's a weekly, weeklies are usually pretty good if you're trading stocks and shares and things like that, then you would take that on face value and go, well, I'll wait to the exit point. But because crypto is such a volatile beast, especially Matic, and then it's not really worth waiting for the exit point on a Ichimoku cloud on a weekly. We can wait around for that, but I think the majority of the price action and the majority of your gains would be wiped out before that indicator gives us the exit point. So the best thing to do would be look at previous history for the money flow index, which often is very good at spotting top. So we'll start with the Bitcoin pairing. So currently we're riding up about 84 to 85. Now this is the first bubble pop. Okay, so we're at 92. That's fine. In the 90s, there's always definitely time to start thinking about taking profit. This is the second bubble pop between 86 and 88. So in the 80s, we had that's where the 70% drop took place. And then the last one here was a 97 to a 97, a double top on the 97. So you got to respect the fact that this can peter out, relatively soon, despite having the long-term continuation signal. This is just the Bitcoin pair, and we'll go over to the Tether pair and see how that fares up on the weekly, I guess. So first initial bubble pop, 97, big warning sign there. Second bubble pop, that was very low actually. 80%. But we came from a very, very low read to a very high read in a short space of time. And again, like if anyone was around for that one, like we were trading that, we did it really well, we got out at the top, but it had Matic had not long been available for futures trading. And because it was a shitcoin really, back in those days, a low volume shitcoin, you allow for futures trading on something like that, it's a recipe for disaster. You know, people get to the top, people recognise it's about to reach its all-time high, people also recognise that it had a horrendous retrace, people began to short it, and before you know it, 70% down within about 12 hours really. So, just beware. You know, when I call something a shitcoin, it's because of its price action, not because of its promise to save the world. Yeah, it's because of I don't really know about the fundamentals and the future promises of these pieces of binary code floating around in the internet. It's all about price and money for me, and so I can call something a shitcoin if it dumps 70% in a 12-hour period. What? Anyway, we're back on its more respectable current looking chart, and again, you know, we are high, but we're not in the 90s, and we are not overstretched, so it's different now than it was in the past, and it's very high volume. Obviously, we've got 120 mil just in a 24-hour period. We've also got 451 bitcoins in a 24-hour period. So areas of potential interest on the daily here would, for me, look at the 50 exponential generally around this kind of area. So about $2.20. I'd be looking for a pullback. We are pulling back, turning down here on the MACD. And we do have bearish divergence on the RSI. It's not the worst bearish divergence. This is still much in the form of an uptrend. But I would be looking for a more suitable entry point, about $2.20. You know, if we break down below there, then yeah, we might be retesting the actual breakout area, which could happen, but I'd be surprised if it did. It would be a very strong area of support. If we did come down to this, it would be an unbelievable area to buy and maybe even to take long positions, because this would be a super support basically. As you can see, we've had very strong reactions to the 200 simple moving average, which isn't normally something that anything really respects on crypto, but this one has. So the 200 simple moving averages is slowly but surely creeping up. That's about $1.52. Exponential is about $1.60. And again, I'm not expecting this to dump down into this anytime soon, but these areas of support would be pretty strong. So it's looking good. I do like it. We've got the Bitcoin pairing. It's pretty much the same old deal as Tether. It's a strong looking chart. We are turning down. We've got bearish divergence ever so slightly. We would be looking for a further pullback on this one. This one has ridden the center of this Bollinger Band for the most part, and so that could only mean that we come down to 5,000 sats. And if you're trading this pair, it looks very good, very strong, very promising, and not overextended, and one of the best charts in crypto currently. And not saying that this is going to make you the 100x that it made me, but it's certainly a strong looking chart in the face of a market which is toying with the idea of going down. So let's respect that at least, and that is in true Matic style. Matic has always done that kind of thing. It doesn't particularly care about, you know, whatever Bitcoin's doing. Most of crypto is very much tied into Bitcoin's behavior. Bitcoin comes down, the world falls down around it, but Matic has done that, obviously, because Matic has spent quite long periods of its life being very weak, but then it's also spent lots of its time telling the market that it doesn't care anymore and it will do its own thing. So reasonably decoupled, not the most decoupled thing you've ever seen, but in crypto it's always important to recognize something at least that's even a tiny bit decoupled. And Matic is one of those. So are Harmony One, and then Seller, which generally moves, you know, in the shadow of all of these. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.